So when thinking about some of the best NBA players in the league, you think about Embiid, Giannis, Jokic, Steph, LeBron, and etc. But in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 worst NBA players coming into the 2023 to 2024 NBA season. And at the number 10 spot, we have the one and only Russell Westbrook. For the Los Angeles Lakers and even at the Clippers at time, he's just a very inconsistent offensive player and had times where he wasn't even aiming for the rim. It was hitting the top of the backboard. Now, the reason I'm putting him at the 10th spot is because for the Clippers, I think he showed some flashes and potentials to be a pretty solid backup point guard for them. He still has the ability to play make at a really high level. So Russell Westbrook will be at the 10th spot. At number 9, we have Dillon Brooks, probably the trashiest player in the entire league. I do not like Dillon Brooks at all. Dillon Brooks, if you're watching this video, just retire. But I'm going to put him at the 9th spot because he had one of the worst offensive seasons with the Grizzlies in his career. He did not shoot well from the three-point line, and in the playoffs, I don't really think he did well at all. And ultimately, I think that's why the Grizzlies parted ways for him. Also, maybe behind the scenes, he was kind of annoying, but he still played pretty decent defense, and I think he's probably one of the best defenders going up against the three-point line and three-point line shooters. So I'm gonna be putting him at the 9th spot, and ultimately I think with the Rockets, his fit, he's gonna be playing some pretty good defense with them. At the number 8 spot, we have Malik Beasley. This is a player that for the Los Angeles Lakers, they really hated this man. He's one of the worst percentages in the league at 39%. Now, again, it's kind of the same thing with Dillon Brooks. He is a pretty solid defender, was a pretty solid defender with the Timberwolves. And I think, you know, he's not that old of a player, so his career could still get better. So that's why he'll put him at the 8th spot. At number 7, we have Bones Highland. I was watching him at times, and he's a shot chucker, takes some really questionable shots. But ultimately, this is a player that moves exactly like Tyrese Maxey, literally a clone of Tyrese Maxey. He's still young, and on the bright side, you know, quick, shifty player with a lot of potential at that age. I think ultimately he still will become a really good player, but last season did not have a good season at all, and coming into the season, he is the top 7 worst NBA player. At number 6, we have Marcus Morris. This is a man I do not understand how he's even on this list, because Marcus Morris used to be one of the best role players in the entire league, damn near star potential at times in some of his seasons in his career. But last season, he just fell off so hard. Clippers fans did not even want him on the floor. He had definitely one of the worst seasons of his career, and if this continues, definitely will be on the number 6 spot for me. At the number 5 spot, we have Cody Zeller. He is a backup center, really bad backup center. He really isn't good at defense at all. We watched him go up against centers like Jokic, and his defense to me just looks really bad, so I have to put him at the top 5 spot. Like, for the Miami Heat, they really should get rid of him. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, he is solid on the offensive side, but I think defense is he's one of the worst defending centers in the entire NBA. At the number 4 spot, we have Montrezl Harrell. This is another player that fell off pretty hard. On the Charlotte Hornets, he was doing very well. He was one of those centers that was a big body and get to the paint, do his thing, but he's really just not good of a player at all. Not good offensively, misses layups at point blank. And honestly, I don't really know what happened to him. Hopefully next year for the Philadelphia 76ers, you know, they did sign a contract. Hopefully he does better. Hopefully he has a better season, but Montrezl Harrell will be at the 4th spot. Number 3, you have DeAndre Jordan. Now, I was really debating it whether I should have put him on here because he is one of those older players that really doesn't get that playing time. But honestly, at his age, I think he really fell off because he doesn't really do anything on the floor when he does get that playing time. You know, he's kind of an older player that he doesn't play good defensively. Offensively, he doesn't really do anything besides catch lobs. So for me, DeAndre Jordan will be at the 3 spot. At number 2, we have, I was debating this. I could have put this at the number 1 spot, but we do have someone better at the number 1 spot. At number 2, I'm going to put my boy Killian Hayes. I think this is kind of a no-brainer. He 100% should be in the top 10 on this list. The single-handedly worst percentage in the entire NBA, and yeah, this is the player that gets clowned for a lot of NBA fans out there. Killian Hayes at the number 2 spot, no brainer. This is a player for the Detroit Pistons who showed his potential at times, like 30 points last season, but ultimately just a shot chucker, takes questionable shots, and definitely should be at the 2 spot. This was not a good player last season at all for the Detroit Pistons. And let's take a second to go grab a drink, go get some popcorn before I announce the #1 spot on this list. This player is probably one of the worst players to fall off, honestly. And I gotta put this player up here. This is my guy, Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons single-handedly is the worst player in the NBA for a couple of reasons. This is a player that virtually did not do anything on the floor offensively. He can miss layups at point blank. He doesn't shoot jumpers in this league where NBA players need to do that. Only good thing that Ben Simmons is going to be good at coming into the next season is probably passing and defense. But last season for the Brooklyn Nets, he was by far the worst player. And this is why I will say that. In the NBA right now, most of the players out there can shoot jumpers. I've never seen a player miss point blank layups like that. I don't think there's another player out there that is doing it like that. And I don't think there's another player out there that is that bad offensively. Now you got Killian Hayes that has the worst field goal percentage in the NBA, but that's just because he shot chucks. Ben Simmons doesn't even want to shoot. He had 0% from 3 last season in the NBA. That just shows how bad of a player he is not to shoot shots. So he has to be the worst player coming into the next season. Now, he's been working out this offseason. Will that change? Maybe. Right now, I gotta have him on the #1 spot for the worst player in the entire NBA. And with that being said, I think that's gonna wrap up things with this video. Put your comments down below what you think about this list. I think this is a pretty solid list. But yeah, with that being said, it's your boy Josh Arch. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, subscribe for a cookie. Josh Arch, and I'm out.